Nickolas Gilbert. I'm the writer and director. And if you saw in the credits, there's only like 6 of us that worked on the film because it really sucks seeing your name up there like 300 times. So just the writer and director.
So multi-hyphenate fabulousness. Also an alumni of the Shakespeare Film Festival, correct?
Yeah, I love this place. This is one of the best festivals in LA.
Nice. Congratulations on this year winning Outstanding Originality.
Oh, hey, thanks.
You just found out with you guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Fantastic. Tell us about the project, where it came from in your mind, how we got here today.
That's a big question. So for me, there's 2 ways to look at it. One is, how do you make a film with no money and no time? And so it's a question of economy of expression and working within creative limitations. And so we were kind of following that old horror paradigm of take a bunch of kids to a cabin and kill them. Basically what you're doing is you're eliminating the number of locations, you're eliminating the number of speaking roles, you're eliminating everything you can do to pare down in order to make something in a single day and in a single location. And so our answer to that was, well, we'll just shoot it on a soundstage in front of a short throw projection. But of course we didn't want to feel like we were cheating anybody, so we just give the joke away early on and let everybody know, let everybody in on the joke that we're shooting in front of a projection screen. But also from a thematic standpoint, the film is really about looking for a third solution. And when you have 2 people from different worlds fighting, there really is oftentimes a third solution where you can get everybody together. You might love sausages, you might love bread, but when bread and sausages come together, magic happens, right?
I could not have phrased that any better. So you said this was a 1-day shoot.
Yep.
Okay. What was production like?
Well, it wasn't exactly a 1-day shoot. We went out to Griffith Park early and shot all the plates for the bicycle race stuff. But it was a pretty hectic 12-hour day. We had some problems. Everybody wants to hear about the problems, right? So we lost about 3 hours because I ordered a used short throw projector from Amazon that was refurbished. So never, ever, 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 ever do that, because it showed up without a cable, without a cord, without an Oshii power cord, and then it also showed up without a remote control. And so on the day, and of course we didn't have time to do it on a real job, that was funded, you would go and you would test everything ahead of time and, do some tests and make sure everything works. But on a job like this, it's kind of just thrown together. There's no time to do it. And so you just expect if you're buying something from Amazon, it's absolutely going to work perfectly, right? Because it's from Amazon. But no, it didn't. Yeah, exactly. And it was kind of a big problem because the projector itself, we could get another cable, another power cord, no problem. We actually had several of them. But this particular projector doesn't work at all unless you have the remote control. You can't get past like the security things on it. And so we lost like 3 hours running around trying to find another projector. We couldn't find another short throw projector. So if you guys know, it's like the projector's here and it's right, so you're not in the beam, And we've done stuff with rear screen projection before, but we wanted to try short throw, so we were looking for another short throw projector. Couldn't find it, but then we found another Epson projector that used the same remote control, so the day was saved, except that we lost half the day and then had to work even faster.
Independent filmmaking, people.
Yeah,
they're all laughing because they're like, haha, been there.
Yeah. Everybody wants to hear the horror stories, so.
From the moment where you were like, we're going to do this, I have this idea, we're going to make this, to post, what was that time frame like?
So this was actually made, I don't know if you guys know, the Collaboration Filmmakers Challenge, which is a little bit better than a 48-hour film festival, but it's essentially, you have 2 weeks, they give you a prompt, and then you have 2 weeks to deliver the final project. So, I mean, it was rapid, and we knew it was rapid from the start. But it wasn't the first time that I've done that. I would never do a 48-hour film challenge. I think there's just too many compromises, and it teaches people poor filmmaking, honestly. Like, it teaches people how to break all the rules in the safety ways, not in the creative ways. But within 2 weeks, it is really doable, but you have to have a strategy, and that's kind of why I'll go back to that horror paradigm. look for ways that you can pare down to the absolute minimum. So that's what we were doing, and I've iterated with different projects to get to this point of like, okay, there's no dialogue in the film. There's really only 3 characters in the film. It's all one location, but it doesn't feel like one location. And of course, we broke the golden rule of, tell, not show, right? You should always show in filmmaking rather than telling. But if you cut out all of the voiceover and just watched it as a silent film, I think it still works and still makes sense. So I stand by that choice.
If you could go back to yourself on day one, what would you change?
About myself or about the project?
About who you've become as a man. No, about this project.
Well, I hit puberty pretty late, so what would I change?
Or even if it's a project where you go, you know what, I look back and I think, nope, nailed it.
I think it works really well for what it is. I think maybe the question you're really getting at is, would I do something like this again? And I think for me, the answer to that is I don't think the joke is funny twice, right? I mean, we've given away the joke that we're shooting in front of a projection screen. We're taking advantage of a certain stylistic or aesthetic choice because of that, and hopefully it's funny. But I don't think it's funny again, so I probably would make some different choices moving forward.
Well done. I would love to open the room up to some questions. Itching, burning questions. Go. I'm going to duck just a little bit because I can see you. Hi, I see you hiding over here. Yes.
Hi. So you told us a horror story in the making of this. Do you have a story that gave you a silver lining?
Oh, good question.
Whether it be through prep, production, or post?
Well, like I said, we made it for the Collaboration Filmmakers Challenge and we won.
Congratulations.
So that's a win.
Other questions?
Anybody else?
I have one.
Yeah.
Yes. Putting together a project inside of 2 weeks, I mean, for a lot of for my filmmakers in the room, some of you have probably been working on a project for a few years. Having a smaller crew, what would you say was a benefit for that, and also what crew member would you like to have had?
Well, I worked with a team that I work with, at least my department heads, even though there were only a few departments represented on this one. But we do have a shorthand from working together on many projects in the past. So everybody that I worked with on this project, they're part of the team, and I really appreciate all their help. And frankly, we wouldn't have been able to work as efficiently and as effectively and as quickly had we not had that shorthand from working on a bunch of different projects together. But I think that at a certain point, having more people just makes things more complex.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, there is a certain point where people would have been standing around or getting in the way, and it just wouldn't have been as efficient or quick to move, and that's something that we had to do to nail it in a day. So I don't think that we were really lacking anything. But I think the other important part of that to think about is that although we did make it in 2 weeks and shot it in a day and really did post in a couple of days and prepped it in a couple of days, I'd been thinking about it for a long time. Okay. And I had this idea in my mind, and then once the prompt was released, I kind of changed it and morphed it in order to fit that. But the key concept was already there of this rivalry between the two different factions and having limited characters and shooting it all in front of a projection screen. It was all already there, so,
Love that. Where can we see you next? What is next in your world?
I've got a lot of projects in various states of development, so just go to nickolasgilbert.com and see what's up next.
Congratulations. Outstanding originality, Nickolas Gilbert.
Thanks, guys.